Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I often share stories about my children and the wise sayings that so many children, all of our children have. But this actually I want to share a story when I was 4 years old, and my mother was pregnant with my brother, and she had a very difficult pregnancy and had to spend almost the entire pregnancy on her back in the hospital. And so she says there was one day where I was visiting her, and she was depressed and down and bored. And just as I was leaving, I turned back and I said, "Ima, keep the mind up. Keep the mind up." But so we had more wisdom then. This is what we had to do. This is what we have to do, right? Keeping happy and joyful is so important. And this is what Rabbi Nachman says. He says, it's a great mitzvah to be joyful always. And he says, if you're not feeling joyful, what do? Do something drastic. Even if it's something a little bit crazy. We've been studying this in our Thursday morning class. Tell yourself a joke. Do anything that will lift up your state of mind. And if you need to kvetch, say I have half an hour during the day, I'm going to kvetch to the universe, kvetch to God, but the rest of the day one should be positive always. Because when we're positive, it lifts other people up too. Our smile brings a smile to other people. It changes the very nature of the world. And so this Shabbat is also called Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song, because it's the Shabbat when they sang as they were crossing the Red Sea, finally at the end of their slavery. And we saw the movie, we know how it happens. And it was not an easy moment, right? It was a frightening moment. They're leaving slavery. The Egyptian chariots are high up on their tail. All night long, there's a wind that blows, so the waters are parted and go all the way up. And finally, they have to walk through that small passage with the Egyptians behind them. And we can imagine it was both a moment of wonder, but also a moment of fear, what's going to happen. And they were awestruck. A whole other reality that opened up before them. And then we hear that Miriam, Moses' sister, began to lead the people in song as they crossed the sea. She grabbed a timbrel, a tambourine, and then she brought the women first, and then all the people together, says the Torah, and they were singing, Ashira Ladonai, I will sing to God. And the Midrash says at that moment it all opened up. The heavens opened up, their consciousness opened up, and they felt this ecstatic joy, and they said that a handmaid saw there what even the prophet Ezekiel didn't. And it was just open. They could experience the freedom they finally had. They saw what was before them. They felt they knew where they were. They felt connected to everything. Their dreams lay open before them, connected to all. And so joy is not only good for our well-being, but it also opens up our vision. It helps us see life in a different way. And the Talmud says, one cannot have prophecy except when one is joyful. So actually, if we look at the very first of our Engen tapestries, the one that's all the way over there on the right, you see figures dancing. They're at the Red Sea. Barrett was here last week. But what do you see in the distance? You see Mount Sinai. Because when they start to dance and feel the joy, they can see the mountain. They can see the way up the mountain before them. And I love the Barrett wove a mountain because the sea was just the beginning. When they looked up, finally they had that vision to see Mount Sinai ahead of them. And so joy opens us up to connect with all the universe. It allows us to see what is our own way up the mountain. And so Rabbi Nachman says, you start with just a regular joy. You tell yourself a joke, but that joy can then lead you to a lightness that transcends joy and sadness, that transcends all the ups and downs, a place even beyond soul, he says. It's a place of truth and pure faith. And that's why we're also grateful to be celebrating this Shabbat with Lisa and all the others, because we're trying to go from simcha to simcha, from joy to joy to joy to joy. And so we try. This is what religion is all about. We labor to create moments of joy, because those joys lift up our minds, and they remind us to pack our tambourines, to keep singing, to open our hearts, to lift our spirits, and to start to see the path forward together towards peace and truth. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.